Welcome everyone to Child Development, Child 210. The purpose of this podcast or this lecture is to introduce you to myself as well as the course, and also to show you what the lectures look like. Obviously they will all be on YouTube for you to view, and when I'll send out the link like I did with this one. To start off with, I'll share a little bit about myself. I live an hour south of Houston, Texas with my family. I joined the church up in Wisconsin where I grew up. I was 18. I was a couple days away from graduating from high school when I was baptized. I had a friend in high school who was a member, and we got closer throughout the years. In my senior year, I was interested in the church and read the Book of Mormon, met with the missionaries. I was baptized several months later. Then after I graduated, I went to Utah State University for my freshman year, my first year of college, and I transferred to BYU in Provo. I received my undergraduate degree in recreational therapy, and then I went on to receive my master's degree from the University of Southern Mississippi in family and child development. As far as work experience, I was a program director at a YMCA camp for 3 years. In Wisconsin, and then I also, after college, worked at a residential treatment center for children as well as adults. The children with behavioral disorders such as attachment disorders, severe forms of autism, Asperger's, anything on that spectrum, and then also adults with mental disabilities, lower IQ, Down syndrome, and that myriad of disabilities. I love working with children. I have, throughout high school and college years, worked with children. Here's some pictures that you can see, just so you can have a face to the name. Next, a little bit about my family. My husband and I met about 6 years ago, and we met on a blind date. We were set up. His roommate was my coworker, and he set us up. And it was a great blind date. We got married later that year in 2010 in Manti. Here's some pictures. This is us in Spain. We went to Spain last fall. My husband served as a missionary, and we went back. And we have 2 children. We have a 2.5-year-old Ashton with the Easter Bunny ears. She was on her way to our Easter egg hunt. And then we have a 3-month-old little boy, Tanner, who was born in January, and this is a picture of us at his blessing a few weeks ago. I stay at home and then work for BYU Idaho, and my husband works as a chemical engineer for Dow Chemical, and that's what made us move to Texas. And we've been here for 3 years now, and we like it, except in the summertime when it's very hot, and it's annoying to go outside. It's almost too hot to go outside, but our kids love it. They don't know any different, and we enjoy being here. All right, next I'm going to talk a little bit about the course, and in this lecture I'm going to focus just on this presentation. In the following lecture I will go into iLearn 3 and show you where all these assignments are, where my policies are, the course syllabus, things like that, and show you around inside the course, so to speak. I do have a quick note. This is my first semester teaching in iLearn 3. I've done iLearn 2. This is iLearn 3 for my first time. And some of you, this may be the first time that you're doing iLearn 3 as well. Let's begin with course organization. This course is organized into 5 units instead of weeks. Other courses you may have week 1, week 2, week 3. Instead, this is unit 1 through 5. Each unit is 2.5 weeks in length. You can see the course schedule, which I'll show in the next lecture on iLearn 3 as far as due dates, because due dates will either be on a Wednesday or a Saturday, is how the rotation or the schedule will work. The course has basically 5 assignments. These 5 assignments are the same for every unit. They don't change. The first is reading quizzes. Depending on each unit, we cover anywhere from 3, I think there's one unit that covers 4 chapters. The first unit is 4 chapters in the text. So every chapter in the text has a reading quiz on iLearn that you will take. It's worth 10 points each. So as I said, most units will have 3 reading quizzes that you'll be required to take. Then you have Dear Abby letters, which it follows the examples of Dear Abby in the newspapers, where there's a collection of Dear Abby letters and you need to respond to a certain amount with a response, and it always derives to child development. For example, my son is having a difficult time with social cues and awkwardness. We're having him tested for autism. What's your advice as we start this process? That's an example of a Dear Abby letter. And of course, through the text and through my lectures and through the materials on iLearn, you would be able to answer that question in detail. And so you'll have those Dear Abby letters. Then the third assignment is a reflective journal questions. There are about 20 questions, give or take a few, for each unit. And you will respond to them. They correlate directly with the course material. Let me give you an example. In Unit 1, let me pull it out right here. One of the examples is, let me find a good example. What is the difference between operant and classical conditioning? So then in that reflective question, that journal question, you would respond what the difference between those 2 types of conditioning is. And of course you will learn about those in Unit 1. And so there's about 20 or so. Then the fourth assignment that you'll have for every unit is, it's called Collaborative Quest. It's a discussion board that you'll respond to. And each unit, the discussion board topic changes. Obviously to fit with the unit that we're discussing. And then you'll have an observation and development assignment. It's a shorter assignment where you watch a video of children at whatever age group we're studying at the time, and you're observing the development in them. And there's some short answer questions to respond to regarding that development and what you see. It helps sort of bring everything together, because I think it's really important to see development in person. And while some of you may not have children in your home or have sisters or brothers in your house or whatever it may be, this way through video and technology you can see development happening rather than just reading about it in a textbook. As I mentioned, those will be the same 5 assignments for every unit, so it'll make more sense as you go through each unit. Next, let's do course policies. I do have a late work policy. I do accept late work. However, it will be 10% will be deducted from your score for every day up to 5 days late. So if an assignment is due Wednesday and you turn it in Thursday, the most points you can get is 90%. If you turn it in Friday, it would be 80. Saturday would be 70. I don't count Sundays, so Monday would be 60% and Tuesday would be 50%. After Tuesday, it's a 0 in the gradebook. I only allow up to 5 days late, 50%. Get your work in on time. That's all I can say. I also, related to late work, I have a forgiveness policy. I understand many of you will have something come up this semester that you had no clue about. As a mom of 2 kids, my kids get sick, and it's chaos for a few days as we try to recover from illness. And then I get it, or my husband gets it. And it's crazy for a week. I understand life happens. And so with the forgiveness policy, every student has 1 time a semester that they can request an extension. It will be a 5-day extension in 1 unit on all assignments in that unit, whatever you need. But you can only use it 1 time. And so it is for those emergency purposes of, I had tons of doctor's appointments this week, or my family came to town, or I'm going on a trip with my family, or anything that's coming up. You can use it 1 time. It does not apply to the discussion board. That is the one assignment I cannot allow an extension on, simply because the discussion board takes the place of an in-person classroom where there's a live discussion going on. Often on on-campus classes, every time you have a class, there's discussion in the classroom. and being online, we don't have that advantage. And so with the discussion board, you need to be on top of that. And I can't grant an extension, because if you make a post after the discussion board's closed, no one gets to see it or comment on it or respond to it. So everyone gets one extension. Of course, if there's extenuating circumstances and you need to talk to me, we can work something out. Grading and feedback. BYU Idaho has a policy that instructors grade all assignments within 7 days. So I stay true to that. Your grades and feedback that I give to you will be posted within 7 days of the due date. I encourage you to look at the feedback, because I often will make recommendations for future assignments if you didn't get full credit on something. Which leads me to the next point, proofreading. If there are more than 3 spelling errors, sentence structure problems, anything like that, more than 3 errors in one assignment, I'm going to start deducting a point per error. I'm not an English major, I'm not a grammar police fanatic, but if I can't understand the sentence you wrote, then I'm going to deduct a point. Please proofread. I've had students submit assignments in Word, and I upload it on my computer, and there's the red squiggly lines under words. So obviously they didn't even spell check. So at least spell check. Just proofread. I don't expect perfection, but if I have a difficult time reading an assignment, it's annoying to me. Here in college, I expect college writing standards and levels in this course. Lastly, some helpful hints from past semesters of what I think students who have done well in my course, what they've done, and students who have not done well, what they hopefully have learned from that. First of all, do not procrastinate. It's a lot of assignments, and if you wait till the night before they're due or the day of, you're going to be emailing me saying I need more time. And I don't accept procrastination as an excuse to give an extension. So don't procrastinate on assignments. Get started early, space them out. Second, with that, is to read the instruction for all the assignments. Do it now, early in the semester, when you have time to read them through thoroughly, understand all the expectations. With that, on the Dear Abby letters, there is a minimum word requirement, not maximum, a minimum word requirement, and I'll explain that in the next lecture. How to complete assignments efficiently. Once we go into iLearn 3, I will show you a little bit about how to answer or how to work through the assignments in the most efficient manner. This mostly refers to reflective journal questions. I've had students who have read all 3 chapters of the text, watched all the videos and additional articles on iLearn, and then open the document to do the reflective journal questions. When the best way to do it is read over all the questions so you know what they are. So when you get to a point in the text where it talks about that topic, you can turn back to the reflective journal question and answer it right away. But I'll show you a little bit more in iLearn 3 what I mean by that. As always, ask questions early and often. I will not get upset with too many questions from you. I encourage you to actively participate in the discussion board. That is where you will learn and also get to know your peers and your classmates better. Also, if you have questions, you can come to my office hours. There's a schedule on iLearn. In my office hours, I can share my screen with you. So if you're having difficulty with iLearn 3 or some parts of an assignment, I can help you. I can show you what I see and hopefully answer some questions there. This is every lecture I do a gospel application. That's one benefit of teaching at BYU Idaho and at BYU schools, is that we're able to incorporate the gospel into our classroom. And so with every lecture and every unit, I'll have an example or an application of that. And this unit, we start this unit, obviously I want to focus on just the aspect of being a child. Our church thankfully teaches that we are children of God. We have divine nature, that we were created in His image and for His purpose. and that families are central to God's plan.